Games, featuring a series of partner events which will highlight your favorite products, manufacturers, artists, and more. Join us every day at 2 o'clock p.m. from November 1st through December 20th for exciting interviews, live audience Q&As, and a chance to win special prizes. Head over to the Fishman YouTube channel now to subscribe and set your notifications so you don't miss out on any of these events. Hello, everyone. This is Ken Susi, your host, and you're watching the Fishman Partnership Series. We've been going live every day almost for the past 3 weeks at about 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock now, and we have our very special guests joining us today from Godin Guitars. But before we bring them in here, I just wanted to mention that if you're watching this stream on the Godin Facebook, this is the Fishman Partnership Series. They are here. And if you're watching the Fishman Facebook, you can head over to our YouTube page, click the like and subscribe button, head over, set notifications. We've been giving away a lot of stuff every day, and you never know what's going to happen on these live streams. So basically, head over, set your notifications, like, subscribe, do whatever so you don't miss out on these events. Obviously, we're here to showcase our partnerships with different companies, and today it's going to be Godin. We have a great relationship with them. There's a lot of efforts that they put into their guitars, and we put a lot of efforts into our products, and today we're going to show you how we merge them together. But I'm so happy that we have a lot of regulars here. Jeremy, how you doing? Saying hi to me directly. We are going to be putting up all these questions on the screen, so if there's anything you want to ask us that's Godin related or Fishman related, or the two, just head over here, because we got a lot of people saying, I'm here, how you doing? And just feel free to jump into the conversation. I love this right here. I know very little about Godin, so looking forward to it. So that's great. So if you're here from the Fishman page and you want to learn more about Godin, here we are. This is why we're here. My co-host wasn't here yesterday, but he is here now, Mr. Rob Ketch. How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing good, Ken. How are you?
I'm absolutely living the dream because I'm here with you. Guys, I would like to introduce our very special guests, Simon Godin and Mario Biferali. How you doing? Is it Simon or Simone?
Okay. Well, whatever you want. Simon.
How's it going, guys?
Doing absolutely great. We're so happy to have you here today. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us and showcase some of these awesome guitars that you guys make.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Nice. So, Simone, real quick question. Please share a brief history of, for those that don't know anything about Godin, can you just give us a little brief history about your company?
Sure. Well, Godin started in 1972 by my dad, Robert. It started in a small village called La Patrie here in Canada, near Montreal. And we have Godin guitars. We make Seagull, Simon and Patrick, Norman, La Patrie, and these are the line that Godin are making. It's all made here in North America, Canada. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We already have fans popping in. Kevin is saying Simon Godin is a great guitar designer. There it is. It's up on screen, so it's official.
Awesome. Thank you.
People all definitely in the background saying, wow, look at the pearl accent on the black guitar. So where everyone's already getting nerdy here. This is great.
Cool.
You're in a very unique position, and having grown up in a guitar business. Please tell us about how you got into the music, and the career progression into Godin. Ooh, we have a quick. Guys, I'm sorry, we're experiencing a little bit of a cutout on their part. We apologize. Let's take a second and see if it all pops back in. Give us 1 sec. This is the point at where I'm going to do a little tap dance for you all. Hope you enjoy it. I'm very good at tap dancing. Let's see if we're here. Guys, are we here? Let's see. We are waiting for them to arrive. Let's answer some questions while here. If you have any Fishman-related questions, pop right into the live stream and we'll answer them. Yeah, I know. We're experiencing a small glitch. We've actually been on a call with them all day, so I'm surprised this froze. Looks like they froze. Yes, I apologize. It does look like they froze while they get things on their end. Rob, you've been dealing with Godin for a long time. Will you talk a little bit about your history with them and your experience working with that company?
Absolutely. Godin has been a great partner with Fishman for many years, and with many of the products, it's been a collaboration. So sometimes we'll have something that we manufacture in our OEM product range that is a perfect fit for what they're doing, and they'll integrate it. And I think later on we're going to see some guitars that's the case. And then also in many cases, it's a true collaboration, right? They have a very specific requirement for their guitars, and we dig in deep, right? We understand exactly what the guitar is supposed to be, who is the player, who are the where the performance environments are going to be, and then we work with them very closely to make sure that the electronics and the details are all there, that are in support of the guitar. So everything we do comes from the perspective of putting the guitar first. The electronics are there to support the intention of the guitar, never to overpower it, but really allow that instrument and the design intent to take it further and perform in a wide variety of different environments.
Nice, that's great, guys. Everyone who's watching the stream, don't go anywhere. We're gonna contact. Oh, Godin is calling us right now. I was actually gonna jump off for a second, but guess what? Boom, we're here, guys. You're back.
Hey, sorry.
Rob, I just put Rob on the screen. We glitched, and I just immediately went over to Rob, and he just told us a great story. How great your relationship has been over the years. So let's jump right back in. I was just asking you. Obviously, you grew up in the guitar business with your dad. But what was your career progression like? Obviously, you were into music. So talk a little bit about that. And then how'd you move into Godin with all that knowledge?
Well, it was a decision I knew since I was very little. I want to be part of the company. Having guitars around me all my life, I was not expecting to one day having the position I have right now. But I'm super happy. Since I'm very young, I'm really passionate about guitars. I love creating new design, and man, it's a dream for me right now to be where I am. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, it comes with a lot of. As a little kid, was your father designing guitars right in front of you? Was there stuff going on at the house, or were you just always exposed to it?
I saw so many different. Sometimes the artists were coming home, asking Robert, "Can you make me that guitar with those pickup or that kind of neck?" Then I was traveling a lot with him, going at the factory. Especially for a Christmas party at the factory. So I saw Robert in all kind of situation creating new guitars for sure. Yeah.
That's actually, I hate to dig into this, but it's so fascinating to me. Like, was there ever a moment where, is there a specific guitar in mind, a Godin guitar, where you remember, distinctly, how much emotion or how much passion was put into it? Back then, I'm saying.
Yeah, back then, well, for sure I was very little. But I think where it really started to get me as a passion is when Robert started to make those LGX electric guitar with they were purple, green, quilted blue. This is where I'm like, wow, this is so impressive. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we'll head over to Mario. Mario, obviously, you're a great player. When did you discover music, and how did you start playing guitar?
I think like a lot of us, I remember the day I put that needle on the turntable, and it was Highway Star. It was my cousin's records. I didn't know what they were, and it was Highway Star, and I heard Richie Blackmore, and then I think it was Christmas Eve actually, and from there I asked for a guitar, like a lot of kids. And interesting story, my dad got big supporter of music. He brought home a guitar from a local music store, and he comes home, and it was probably 6 months later. I'm 12, 13 years old, and he's like, "Oh, look at this guitar I just got from a music store here in Montreal. It's called a Kamouraska," which, believe it or not, it was Robert Godin who made that guitar, and he was selling them under the Kamouraska name, and which are now Godin nylon string guitars, which were the La Patrie line, right? So that was pretty interesting. So right from my very first guitar was an actual Godin product. So, and from there, just kind of like everybody else, studied music, went to college for music, and then I left college to go on tour with my band across the country. And when I'd come back to Montreal, I'd be teaching or working in music stores. And actually, that's where I met Simon. Simon was going to a music store close by where I ended up being his guitar teacher. And you mentioned those LGXs. He'd come in every week, and it would be one guitar nicer than the other, like a custom shop LGX.
You knew something was up.
And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, my dad builds these. But he was really like kind of downplaying it, And I'm like, whoa. So I didn't really catch on. And then eventually Robert Godin came and picked him up. And, I jumped at the chance to introduce myself and said, hey, if you ever need a guy.
Because after a week of Mario teaching me guitars, I was like, maybe I should play drum, No,
That's it. I taught him all I knew,
That's awesome. Well, with that being said, I mean, obviously, you guys met and then, you started working for the company. I'm sure you didn't jump into being the VP of sales right away. So the question is what were you doing initially at the company? And then how did you transition into your amazing, obviously the amazing position that you're in now?
It's a great place to work because Robert really asks everybody's opinion and is really like hands-on, and he immediately made me feel part of the team, part of the company, and that my opinion mattered. So I started doing customer service, which, to be honest, I feel like every position you're in is customer service, right? But I was doing customer service, and I remember like the second or third day that I was working here, I got a call from Kirk Hamnett's manager, and I blew my mind. And then the next day it was somebody from Steve Stevens, and it was so crazy. So he just said, hey, you want to take care of artists? I'm like, what do you mean? What's that? Yeah, be the artist relations guy. We need a guy. So the positions just transitioned and kind of blurred into another, and I remember overhearing Robert speaking with our vice president at the time that they needed an extra hand at the NAMM show. So I literally just volunteered. Hey, I'll come to the NAMM show. So slowly but surely, like I started going on the road with the reps and product training and doing factory tours. And Robert was very much part of those tours. We'd always be in the car together and talking. And I think as the company grew, we just kind of promoted from within. And so you kind of go through the steps. Artist relations, dealing with suppliers, product specialists. Doing some key accounts, traveling with the reps, and eventually it was really nice actually, because when they promoted me to VP, you guys did it at the NAMM show. It was you, It was Simon and Robert, so that was kind of special. So we just that's the way it happened, just naturally.
Nice. It's very cool. And Simone, for yourself, it must have been a really unique experience, kind of growing up literally in the guitar business from the very beginning, as you mentioned. Tell us about some of the different things that you've done at Godin Guitars throughout your career. Obviously, you're the CEO at this point, but I'd love to hear about some of the many stops along the way before you were the CEO as well.
Well, I started at the beginning. I'm CEO now. I'm a young fellow. I'm 37 years old, but I started very young working for my dad, as I was a salesman before. And my dad asked me one day, what do you want to do in your life? I say, hey, I want to take over. It's my dream, So at 20 years old, Robert sent me to live in Victoriaville, where I've been working there almost 2 years, learning every department how to make a guitar. So I did Princeville factory, Richmond, and Berlin, New Hampshire as well. And after those 2 years, I said to Robert, I think I'm ready to come back to Montreal. So he find me a job as a shipper. And then I did some repair. I went service. I did rap on the road. And then I was on the marketing department. Then I was a sales manager. And I was always asking Robert, I have those ideas, and Robert was always like, piano. One day you're gonna make your own model if you want to. And since 2 years, I have I had the okay from Robert to really go the direction I want to go. So I did every step I had to do. I know everyone at the factory. Everyone. Yeah.
That's awesome. We like to have fun here, but Fred's writing, looking good, guys. You guys are good-looking guys. This stuff happens.
Thanks.
Thanks, Fred. I hope you're talking about us here at Fishman as well, too. Please.
Of course.
we need all the help we can get. Well, Godin has a number of great brands, obviously making a tremendous variety of models. Can you talk about each different brand and kind of what you do?
Sure.
Sure.
You want to start?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting, actually. If you look at the Seagull guitar, for example, I always describe it as a modern acoustic. It's obviously it's got an X bracing, but it's a variety. It's a variation of an X bracing. The shoulder's a little narrower.
Yeah.
The fingerboard's a little wider, so it gives you a nice crisp mid-range, and a little bit more spacing for fingerstyle players. So we did that on purpose, or Robert did that on purpose. As a matter of fact, a little secret is the sound hole is also not the standard size hole sound. So you're getting the sweet mid-range sound. So I'd say, especially with the tapered headstock, it's easy to tune, it's easy to stay in tune, and especially for a lot of guys using alternate tunings, it handles those tunings very, very well. So I'd say Seagull is a more of a modern acoustic. If you look at something like the original guitars that Robert was making, the Norman, those are a little bit more classic in design. You know, your typical dreadnought. And fast forward to Simon and Patrick, I feel that those, correct me if I'm wrong, but I describe them as they look like a traditional guitar, but underneath the hood, it's more of it's closer to a Seagull than it is a Norman.
Bigger shoulder.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
Bigger
yeah.
shoulders. And then when you get into stuff like the Godin acoustics that Simon is designing and we launched a couple of years ago, I would say that's like the best of all worlds, right? We took parts of every guitar that we liked. You know, the bracing is different. The style is a little bit different. And it's kind of like a modern classic. You know, it plays like a really, really fast guitar, but if you look at it, it's kind of got that vintage vibe. You might ask yourself, you know, why all these different brands, but
Yeah.
they were really different at the time. If you look at something like Art and Luthery, I think it allows you to take more risks because it's of the price point. So you can go a little bit more like, hey, let's try this, let's try that without, we're not stuck in a certain past, you know, and sometimes I know that we think of ideas and we'll say, oh, that would be good for Norman, or, oh, that would be good for Seagull. They all have their own personalities and feel. Some of them have a C neck shape. Some of them have a little bit of a flatter shape. So it's
and it's especially now we're working very hard to making sure they all have their own vibe. So Art and Luthery is not only about a price point. It's or you like or you don't like. Art and Luthery, really unique color, satin finish, where Seagulls will be a complete full line from a very nice price point up there with the Artist series. Godin was more high hand, and Norman, we just redesigned Norman. It's more a country folk style right now. So,
Well, those are great descriptions, and obviously I want to talk about all the different models you make. But before we get rolling, you guys, I want to focus on the Seagull guitar currently. You guys submitted a tremendous video for us, and I'd like to play it for everybody. And we'll come back, and then we'll start talking about that particular guitar one by one. We'll pick up away. But check this out. This is the Seagull S6 Classic in black. The Seagull
Very
S6
cool.
obviously is an amazing guitar featuring Fishman Sonotone electronics. You got to please tell us about this guitar because I think it's fantastic.
Well, there's a long story behind that guitar. It's all started with the we have a model called the S6 Original, and the S6 Original will have the same feature as a wild cherry back and side, a same neck profile except with a natural cedar top. And while I was doing a visit with some customer and
it's true,
Mario, Mario said like, "Hey Simon, like." Because before we put colors on a guitar, even if it's natural, we put a filler to fill the grain of the wood. And that one was it was a prototype I think they did on the lineup, where instead of using a brown filler, they had apply a black filler on it. And this is how we came up with that guitar. Is we said, okay, that's nice. It's like a natural with a black filler. It's like. And then we decided to do a satin matte black finish on the top. And these were new pickguard we had for Simon and Patrick at the time. And we just decided to create that amazing guitar. And it's been like one of the best seller since. So yeah, we're very happy with that guitar. Sounds amazing. You can't go wrong.
We wanted to have something that packs a lot of value. Also, the S6 is one of the best-selling Seagull guitars we make. And when Simon said, "Hey, let's put a black top on it," and we said, "Hey, you know what? Let's pop a pickup in it." And we didn't want to like cut anything into the sides, so we decided to use the Fishman Sonotone pickup. One of the things with the Fishman is that you know that you can just plug and not worry about it. It's going to work. It's going to be there for you. And once again, we wanted to have like this complete package. And that's where the Fishman came in, and it sounds great with the Sonotone. You can record with it, you can play really, live, and it just fits it. Like again, we wanted it to be simple but functional, and that's what we appreciate about the Sonotone because it's right in the sound hole,
right
and that's the S6 Black.
Yeah.
Now that is a great guitar. I know before we got started that the S6 Classic in black, the AE edition, it uses conventional spruce for the top, I believe. The back and sides are a really interesting wood choice. Could you share with us a little bit more your choice of those back and side woods, and tell us, kind of the sonic footprint, if you will, of the wood choice?
Well, we use wild cherry. Robert's been using wild cherry for years, and it's a wood we find here in Canada. So this is the main reason why, and it's such an amazing wood. Even if it's lamination, there's different quality of lamination guitars, and this is it's a three ply of solid wild cherry together, glued together. So it's very strong. This is what makes the guitar sound so good, almost as good as a solid back and side guitars. And the wood that we use that wood for Godin acoustic, the Rialto. We're gonna use that wood for even the nylon string guitar, the Simon Patrick, the Art and Lutry. So not only on Seagull but across the line. Yeah.
The cool thing about wild cherry is that it cuts through. It's like, and if you're recording with it, the bottom end doesn't get all flubby and stuff. It's pretty tight, but the notes cut through. The mid range is really present. There's a lot of presence to the guitar. So if you're a fingerstyle guitar player, the notes really ring out. It's like a really good speaker box, really hard back and sides, and with a top that's pressure tested. That's another thing. We don't just use solid tops. We pressure test every top. So we just use the stiffest tops, which allows us to make it thinner, which allows the top to vibrate and breathe freely. So you're really getting a lot of volume, a lot of dynamics because of that. The fact that the back and sides are really hard and reflective, and it allows the top to do its job.
Yeah, it's got a nice weight. The wood is very light as well, so it's a very nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Lance is actually popping in right here and saying, I like the straight string pull on the Seagull guitars due to the tapered design of the headstock / tuning key placements, helps with tuning and stability. So is that something that you guys did, focus in on as far as, when designing that guitar, keeping it in tune, obviously, but is there a trick to that?
Yeah. It's definitely the reason why the headstock is made like that. If you look close, well, it's hard to see, but there's no pull string from the side. Every string is straight to
The tuner, yeah.
the tuner. So this is why the headstock was designed like that. So a lot of time on a traditional guitar, when you tune here, you tune down. So you always need to go back to your first key. Just to Seagull, you don't have to. It was designed to down tune as well. And the nice feature too with Seagull, it was the neck profile. We had like traditional 1.72 nut weight. Seagull, we have a 1.8, and we even have a 1.9 weight with the Pipino model. So it was really designed for fingerstyle picking. Yeah.
Nice. Well, let's jump into one of the more unique categories, which is the Godin Multiac series. We're going to discuss the two equipped Multiac models now, but before we do that, let's show the video that you submitted to us, because I think this is an incredible video as well. Let's jump over to that, and then we'll start talking about the guitar.
That was cool.
All right. Yeah. Great.
So
great.
we're jamming on our side here.
Great video, great sounding guitar. So the Multiac is perhaps one of the most unique and iconic Godin designs. And I know we're going to talk about a couple of specific models today that are Fishman equipped, but before we dig into that, could you share a little bit of the history and the thinking behind the creation of this guitar that's become such an icon for your brand and is so well known by players around the world?
Sure. I remember these hybrid guitars, seeing them like in maybe the early 80s. And they were Godin guitars, starting back with the Acousticaster. So I assume, and I know I spoke to Robert and with Simon about this, it's like, we didn't want to be a Me Too company, meaning like, oh, okay, we're just going to build another copy of something. So one of the cool things is that, they tried to build like a hybrid guitar. Why? Because they were listening to people, they were listening to performers, what they wanted. They wanted to have a good acoustic sound in a live situation where they didn't have to worry about feedback. So one of the first guitars was the Acousticaster, which had these sliders over here, and it was a single cut guitar, but with an electric neck. So it was really made for an electric guitar player that wanted an acoustic sound in a live situation. And it had this really custom pickup system, and it also had a bunch of metal tines on the inside. Since the guitar was very thin, Robert had installed these metal tines that would vibrate sympathetically with the guitar to give it more bottom end. And I think it just evolved from there. We ended up having a nylon string version and really built a category that didn't exist before.
Yeah.
And that's what's really unique about it. And it's amazing. We talk about this often because when we build a guitar, we try not to just build it because we can, but we try to build it for like, who's this for? Who is this gonna appeal to? And with Godin, I find it interesting because We have players like Steve Stevens and Kirk Hammett, and then we have classical guitar guys, and then we have gypsy jazz type of guys, and everything in between. So it's a very interesting model, and the Multiac series just grew organically. For example, the guitar that I have here was made more for a classical guitar player. It joins the body at the 12th fret. It's got a wider 2-inch nut. But we also have some that have a slimmer, faster necks.
Yeah.
So
Like
I
the
think
one.
it just like this one, the Multiac Encore.
It's got a 25.5 scale with a 1.8 nut.
So it's to differentiate ourselves. I think we were listening to what the market needed, and the Multiac series is definitely some of our best-selling Godin guitars we make.
Yeah. Because we do make Multiac for the electric player like Steve Steven. We do make Multiac for acoustic player. And having those different scale available on the Multiac make it very, how can I say, appealing to different player out there. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, I see you've got 2 different variations of the Multiac series, both Fishman equipped. And I wondered if you, and I know you highlighted some of the details, but if you could share with us each guitar, the proper name for them, and some of the technical details about the guitar construction and the systems that are inside.
Well, Rob, you decide who starts.
Let's start with the Multiac Nylon Encore.
You see, I'm the winner. No. So
He's gonna want to win the prize.
yeah, well, hey. The Multiac Encore was one of the latest model we introduced, where it's the newest kind of electronic for a market that everyone can afford a Multiac. And we're very excited using your Fishman electronic, Rob. And this Multiac is available on different scale as well. We have a grand concert. That's the Encore Natural, the regular one with 25.5 scale. But how it works, it's all the Multiac. You'll have your main electronic control on your guitar here. So the first volume here on top will be your main acoustic volume. And then the second level here will be your treble, then the mid, bass, EQ. And then the last slider on the Encore will be a blend between your under saddle pickup and the contact mic. So every artist we talk to, every time they're going with their Multiac for a sound check, it's easy. You put that at flush 50. They do their sound check, and then you can really do your final touch on your guitar. So it makes it very easy to record or doing live. Yeah.
We can tap on it. It's good.
Yeah, you can tap. It's made for all kind of different nylon player. Yeah.
And here, here we have the Multiac Grand Concert Ambiance Duet, and that's exactly. I remember we worked really hard with these guitars with Rob and the team at Fishman, because we want to hear something in our head. And I remember you guys sending us an Aura pedal, and I remember, I'm not sure who had suggested it, but like, imagine we can have this Aura pedal in the guitar right here, right? And that's essentially what we did. This guitar is like a more complex guitar. It has a custom image casting. That's what Fishman calls it. It's a great name. I remember being in the studio with Rob and Larry and doing the image casting on some of these guitars. And it's very interesting because essentially what you're getting is like these virtual mic sounds, but they were actually like images from real microphones. So you have like a Danish Pro Audio, you have a couple of shop mics in there, shops, and we also have a Sound Deluxe mics. So what this guitar gives you is your under saddle pickup that you can then blend with your different voicings of the different microphones. Similarly, the same way you'd use an Aura pedal, a Fishman Aura pedal. And the reason we called it an ambiance is because I remember we were at the NAMM show. We're like, man, what are we going to call that prototype? It's got a really cool thing. It feels like you're in the actual room of a studio. Like, it's got a nice ambiance, and that's exactly what we called it, because of the fact that it's an excellent guitar to record with. Especially these days, everybody's got home studios. Very difficult to record with like real mics because they're so sensitive. But you can just pick
Choose
a mic,
between your four. Yeah.
pick a mic, choose between your four, and you can blend between your acoustic and your mic sound, and you could record. It sounds like you're in an actual room that's way bigger than what you are. So that would be the grand concert. All these guitars are built in the same factory, of course. And then, of course, there's like different trim options and things of that nature.
Yeah. Yeah, you're looking at two completely different price point and two completely different sound instrument. And this one too, it's got a phase out, phase in switch, depending on the room. So that's a nice add to the guitar. Yeah.
Nice. Actually, Colin's popping in and asking, can we hear them in action? We did actually hear one of them in action, but we should actually move over and hear the grand concert in action. So let's jump over there really quickly and see.
All right. You guys are jamming again. I see that there.
He's like doing some stand-up comedy here.
Yeah. But going back to Fishman Electronic, I think on the grand concert ambiance with the video we just saw, you can really hear the finger voice on the string with that electronic. And this is what makes the grand concert duet ambiance so unique.
It really feels like you're pushing air. It's remarkable. Like I was recording with it the other night and with my headphones, and like you're just fooling around it. You really feel like you're actually changing room size. It's amazing. If for anybody that wants to have a real authentic nylon string sound and to record, you should check it out. Actually, it's funny because what you end up doing, and maybe this is too nerdy, but you end up finding certain voices. Like for example, I know that the Shops mic, the fourth position, to me sounds more flamenco style. It kind of sounds like there's a little bit more attack and really flamenco sound. And then there's some sounds that sound a little bit more classical and more traditional. So you can really dial in exactly what you want and have just a really, really authentic sound, whether you're recording, whether you're playing live. You won't have to worry about feedback, especially the way these guitars are built. You've got a bigger chamber and then a smaller one. That's what we were talking about before. Simon was like, that's like our caramel secret. We can't tell you how to, we get all that sound.
Too much.
But it's every time you pick it up, you discover something else about this system, and it's a real joy to play. And it's and every mic has its own character and personality, so it's really cool to jam with, you know.
It's great. Well, you know, thank you absolutely for taking the time to tell us about these super cool guitars. Thrilled that the Fishman systems are working well in the guitars, and you know, Mario, as you said, the collaboration, particularly on the grand concert ambiance, was a very cool project to spend some time in the studio and really get some very specific great sounds for that instrument that translate both live, right, at high volume, and as you mentioned, it's nice for direct recording too. You get a really rich sound out of it. So
yeah, and it's always cool, and it's a true collaboration. Like you guys have come to here in Montreal to hear the guitars, and we've met at the factory a bunch of times with you and Larry and Robert and Simon, and you know, and it took us, like, as you can tell, we're all guitar and sound freaks. So we really took our time, but we really dialed it in. And some stuff comes easy, and some stuff we really, really work at really hard. And that's why it's, you know, we have these instruments that they're different, they feel different, but they all have that top quality sound. And it's been fun.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And there's one guitar that we didn't have today, but talking about cool guitar, it's a It's the multi-oud.
Yes, that is cool
Talking
instrument.
about crazy
You're right, yeah.
craftsmanship is Robert one day decide to make a oud for the music of today. You know, having
Sure.
cutaway, being able to record them live, and we use your Fishman Aura system in there, and it sounds amazing. It's just we didn't have one with us today, too bad, but please check out on the website. It's under the World Instrument.
Yeah, I remember that because at the NAM show, I said to Rob, I said, "Hey, Rob, you know the Aura system we're using? Yeah, we're thinking of like, you know, can we want to do an oud with one of those?" And he's like, "You want to do an oud?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to do an oud." And then it was really cool, and it worked out really well, and it sounds cool. And that you guys had to dial that in because obviously an oud doesn't sound like a nylon string, so it was really custom. That's what's cool. Like every system we use, we don't just get a off the shelf system and slap it into a guitar. Like we'll send guitars to Fishman and they will like listen to the guitar acoustically and then voice the system for this particular guitar. So there's a lot of care that goes along with you know, with getting to with the final product.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Absolutely. Well, it's a pleasure and an honor to work with you guys on all of these cool guitars over the many years. Thank you so much for taking the time today and telling us about the Godin company and all these super cool guitars. Wanted to close just with sort of a topical question for everyone. I mean, 2020 has obviously been a challenging and crazy year for everyone. What changes have you implemented at Godin, and what is your outlook for the future? Are you guys feeling good about the way things are going and bright future? What are you seeing?
Well, I mean, knock on wood, it's been a crazy year, but we have such an amazing staff. They all came back to work. For sure, we closed down for 3 months. We had to take some decision where we had to limit our SKU. So for sure, me and Mario, we had to decide like what we're gonna build this year, what we're gonna discontinue. For sure, it's always sad when we decide to put a model aside, but it was able to produce faster what was on order. But Rob, like we had the best year when it's talking about sales.
Wow.
We never had such a good year. We're very impressed, and man, for the future, I think it will be to really limit the model we have and to be able to be more benefits with the production. Yeah, I don't know if you want to say something, Mario. Or...
Well, I think what I learned is that we're very lucky to be here and to do what we love. But I learned that music is a really big and important part of people's lives. And you see that more than ever, and it's something that we don't take for granted. I also learned that there's communication involved. Talking with our reps, making them feel comfortable, talking to the dealers, talking to the end users. And also it's proven to us that we have a lot of good partners out there, a lot of people that love the brand, and people are really receptive to the new guitars we're making, the higher end guitars we're making. Simon worked really, really hard for a couple of years on the new Godin acoustics, and it proved to us that we can sell high-end custom shop guitars, because we took the time to do it right. And we appreciate every sale we have. We appreciate every day coming into work. It's a really fun place to work. But it really taught me that wow, music is not just, you're not just selling a thing, you're selling something special, and we don't take that for granted. It can make the difference. Music can make a big difference in people's lives. This is why we're all here. Keeps you out of trouble when you're a kid. It makes you express your feelings. And that's something that, especially these days, where, you talk about mental health and people that are alone in their home and apartment and don't have that human interaction. Music is a huge part of helping them get through the day. So we really take our job seriously, and we hope that we've been blessed, and we learned a lot about ourselves, about the company, about the people we work with. And I think it's going to make us better employees. It's going to make us a better company. And we look forward to it being over and 2021,
Exactly. Guys, thank you so much again. We really appreciate, on behalf of Fishman, we really appreciate all the time that you guys spent with us getting ready for this, preparing for this live stream, getting it all together. So, guys, obviously, we wish you success in the future, and we love the fact that you guys are here. And Rob, do you want to say a quick goodbye?
Absolutely. Simone and Mario, thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for the partnership over the many years. Looking forward to getting into the next project with you.
Yeah, we already have some project for you for next year, Rob. So
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, Ken.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rob.
thanks, everyone.
Thank you for making these great tools for musicians. Take care, guys.
Well, thanks
All
for
right.
making such a good pickup.
Thank you, guys. I'm gonna lead us out, but we'll talk to you guys soon. Hey, everybody. My name is Ken Susi. You're watching the Fishman Partnership Series. If you were watching on the Fishman socials, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, head over to www.godinguitars.com. Like and subscribe to their pages. Obviously, we're both big families here, and you should support every single company that you like and see here on this feed. If you're looking for more information about Fishman products, you can head over to www.fishman.com. You can find out any type of information that you need for Fishman products. But again, we will be here tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Will we give something away? Who knows? Show up and find out. We'll be here 2 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll see you tomorrow.